Hey guys, it's Aspasia and welcome back to the channel. So if you've been anywhere on the fitness or nutrition side of the internet, I'm sure you've seen macros or counting your macros as a form of losing weight, gaining muscle, and overall just staying healthy. And the main macros that everyone focuses on are carbs, fats, and of course the most important being protein. And while these three do give you a pretty decent breakdown of what your nutrition should look like, there is one macronutrient that everybody seems to forget about that in my opinion is super important and super underrated, and that is fiber. Not only will increasing the amount of fiber you eat every single day make your weight loss journey a lot smoother, it also has so many other benefits. It decreases the chance for diabetes and even some cancers. So even if you're not trying to lose weight, fiber is just super important and can impact your health in so many amazing ways. The thing is, so many people in the industry are so on top of their macros, their protein, their calories, but when it comes to fiber, people can kind of get lost and it can be a little bit daunting and overwhelming. So as your personal trainer bestie, I'm going to share with you why fiber can literally be life-changing and give examples of the exact foods that you should be including in your diet if you're trying to get more fiber. Back in the day, my yaya used to eat a lot of Raisin Bran and prunes, and I think that this is how the fiber talk kind of became uncool or kind of became something that you associate with your grandma. But I promise it's really cool and you're going to want to hear about it, so let's do it. So what is fiber? Well, fiber is a macronutrient that the body cannot break down and digest. So with carbs and fats and proteins, your body breaks those down and absorbs them and uses them for energy. And with fiber, the body's not able to do this. There are two types of fiber, soluble and insoluble, but for the sake of this video, I'm not gonna go too much in depth on what each of these mean. It doesn't really matter. You just need both of them for a healthy and balanced diet. You're probably thinking of fiber as something that simply just regulates your system. I hate talking about this type of stuff, but you know what I'm talking about. And we all know how much better you feel when you're regular and it eases your bloating, your constipation. Again, I'm not really the type of person that loves talking about this stuff, but it is important and we all know what I'm talking about. We all know how much better you feel when everything's just working properly. Okay, we get it. And fiber is really good at making sure this process runs smoothly. But this is not the only benefit that fiber has. It's definitely no secret that the United States has an obesity problem, with heart disease being the #1 leading cause of death in America. And through different research, it's actually shown that fiber can decrease your risk for heart disease and other things like diabetes and strokes. And while so many people, when they're trying to lose weight, focus on the short term, they want to get more steps, lower their calories, you got to think of fiber as kind of playing the long game. It can improve your health and longevity literally for the rest of your life. Studies have literally shown that high fiber diets can lead you to live a longer life. This is wild, you guys. I'm telling you, this is why I say that fiber is so underrated. It is one of the most underrated macronutrients, and it's just so important to be focusing on this in your diet. So yes, you can live a healthier and longer life just by eating more fiber, but it also has a ton of benefits for weight loss in particular. And I know on my channel, I do so many videos about fat loss, so let's dive into why fiber is really, really awesome for fat loss in particular. Obviously on my channel and everywhere else, you've heard over and over that you need to be in a calorie deficit to lose weight. And with this comes certain diets, like if it fits your macros, and eating literal junk food as long as it stays in your calories. And technically, if you're still in a calorie deficit and you're eating donuts and cookies and ice cream, you still will lose weight. But the problem with this type of thinking is that all of these junk foods are really not nutrient dense at all. They're not gonna help you stay full, stay satisfied, which is gonna make your calorie deficit really difficult. And of course, there's just not that many nutrients in those type of junk foods and ultra processed foods. So your overall health is not gonna be at its peak. These highly palatable junk foods taste delicious, but they really don't fill you up or leave you feeling satiated, which literally makes it impossible to stay in a calorie deficit. And I'm not saying you can't have these foods in a calorie deficit. Obviously, you should be including all of these foods so that you don't feel overwhelmed or restricted and then making you want to binge on those type of foods. But having more nutrient dense foods where you can eat a high volume of them and then still lose weight and be in a calorie deficit is definitely the better route to go here. And not to mention, if you're eating more and have more on your plate, that just makes your deficit go so much smoother and it's so much more enjoyable. So yes, you want to be eating high volume foods for lower calories, but you also want to be eating foods that are very satiating so that you feel full for longer. This is why eating a high fiber diet is so underrated in your calorie deficit when you're trying to lose weight. Fiber is super satiating and it does make you feel full for longer, and this just makes your calorie deficit so much more enjoyable. It's pretty much a no-brainer for me. You don't want to be ravenously hungry and miserable and starving during your deficit, so definitely fiber is the way to go. So how much fiber should you be eating? The American Heart Association recommends that adults should be eating around 25 to 30 grams of fiber every single day. They've also calculated though that the average American gets only 15 grams of fiber in their diet every day. So there is definitely research out there showing that people are way underdoing it with the fiber, and if you're watching this video, there's a good chance that you are too. For whatever reason, maybe you can relate to this if you're watching this video, but I think people tend to overcomplicate fiber and it seems like a more daunting thing than it really is. Most people know they should be eating more, but they just don't know how or where to get it from. And even for me, for years, I thought that getting enough fiber in my diet was nearly impossible, but with adding these foods in my diet, I realized how simple it can really be. So I'm gonna give you a list of 10 fiber-rich foods that you can add in your diet right now that are gonna make it so much easier to lose weight, feel full, and just make sure everything's working smoothly in your body. A lot of these foods are also higher in protein, lower in calories, and that's just gonna help your fat loss journey overall. And before we get to the list of foods, I do have a Fat Loss 101 guide breaking weight loss down into 3 simple steps so you can start losing weight today. And that is totally free in the link below. Okay, so here are 10 foods that you should be eating if you wanna get more fiber in your diet. Number 1 are bran buds. Just a half a cup of these has 17 grams of fiber, which is over half your daily amount. You can add them into some high protein yogurt, add some berries, and it's just the perfect breakfast. Number 2, going along with this, is berries. So blueberries, blackberries, strawberries, raspberries. Half a cup has around 2 to 4 grams of fiber depending on which berry. And these are just really great to snack on, super low in calories, definitely a must to have in your fridge on a fat loss journey or really anytime. Number 3 is popcorn. This is literally one of my favorite things ever to snack on because it's so low in calories. There are so many flavor options nowadays. My favorite is the Lesser Evil, and right now for summer, they're doing a pina colada flavor. This is not sponsored, but I literally eat this by the bag full. The entire bag is like 500 calories. It's crazy, but just a serving, 3 cups is around 100 calories and 4 grams of fiber. If you find the Lesser Evil pina colada flavor, you have to pick it up and give it a try. I'm serious. I am not sponsored by them. I wish I was. Hi, sponsor me, but it's so good. I just cannot eat enough of it. Number 4 is black beans. Chickpeas and lentils also have the same fiber, but it's gonna be half a cup for around 8 grams of fiber. Super easy, they're in a can, pretty inexpensive too. Number 5 is one of my personal favorites. It is the carb balanced tortillas. Literally for a huge tortilla, it's 70 calories and 15 grams of fiber. These are just so amazing and they taste just like a regular tortilla. I'm obsessed with these, you need to try them. Number 6 is chia seeds. For 2 tablespoons, you get 10 grams of fiber. Number 7, for 1 medium apple, you get about 4 grams of fiber. Baked potato, 1 potato is about 4 grams of fiber. Broccoli is a really good one, about 2.5 grams of fiber per cup. And lastly, oats are half a cup for 4 grams of fiber. And those are just 10 of the options that I like to have around the house and that I include in my daily life. But of course, in any healthy, balanced diet, it's really good to get a variety of fruits and vegetables, so you can definitely play around with this. And personally, I do like to have my fiber gummies every day, but apparently I read that the fiber gummies are not actually the same thing as getting it through your fruits or your vegetables. So just keep that in mind, something to think about, but definitely any way you can get it, I'm not gonna be mad about that. I know that talking about fiber is definitely not the most sexy or the coolest thing to talk about. It's definitely not the most fun macronutrient to talk about, but with so many amazing benefits, we just can't have a conversation around fat loss without talking about fiber. It's so missed these days, so underrated, and I promise you, if you include more fiber in your diet, you're gonna feel the effects, you're gonna feel a lot better, and there's a huge chance that your fat loss journey is gonna feel so much more enjoyable and so much smoother. So I hope this video opens your eyes to something new, maybe something you didn't think about as far as your weight loss goes, and I hope it encourages you to increase your fiber intake so you can live a healthier and maybe even longer life. If it did, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss a video from your personal trainer bestie. You guys, we are almost at 100 subscribers. We're at 79 right now. I appreciate every single one of you. Each one of the comments that I get on here makes me so happy. I love making these videos and I put a lot of time into them, so I really hope you get value out of them. And if you do, again, we're almost at 100 subscribers, so if you find value out of this video or any of my others, please subscribe. It really does mean a lot. I also post every single day on my TikTok and Instagram. I'll link that below too. Bye guys.